Hello guys and welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother, and today we are going to be talking about the St. Paddy's Day episode of Big Brother. And I gotta say, this was a very entertaining episode because not only did it have nominations, but it had a secret twist that kind of did live up to my expectations, and it kind of was entertaining despite what people on Twitter may be bitching and moaning about. Celebrity Big Brother has never been something that you can take seriously or that you should take seriously. It's not like Big Brother where the twists that target certain housemates are bad decisions because they're normal people at the end of the day. This is a celebrity show. Twists and turns are part and parcel. We've seen it in the Channel 5 era. We saw it kind of in the Channel 4 era. But there's a lot of delusional people out there that really do believe that the Channel 4 era of Celebrity Big Brother was more interesting than the Channel 5 era. That is not the case. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But I do believe that the Channel 4 era was just like the seasons of Big Brother themselves were better, but the celebrity versions were kind of like bit naff, I'll be honest. They weren't that interesting. I've seen a few of them. I haven't seen all of them, admittedly, but like I've seen enough to go like Channel 5's better. It just does it better. It's more interesting to watch. ITV have struggled to make an identity for themselves this series, but I'm hoping that it's just teething problems and the next series will be better. But before we get into this episode, I hope you guys are enjoying, and I hope you guys are absolutely smashing that like button, absolutely bashing that subscribe button as well. We are on our way to 800. We won't make it by end of March. I know, sad times, but there is always hope for April. We are making big progress, guys. Like, actually crazy progress. This channel is growing every single day, and I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are the best people in the world, best fans. I love all your interactions. I love hearing all your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoy hearing my thoughts. And yeah, let's just get straight into the video, shall we? So, like I said, it was St. Patrick's Day today, and I was actually in Disneyland when it was St. Patrick's Day. It was kind of a weird, surreal experience because it was Disneyland Paris, and there was like St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and I was like, do they even celebrate St. Patrick's Day in France? Like, I didn't think that was a thing. Like, we don't even celebrate it really in England, so I don't know. The most I did was have a drink for St. Patrick's Day because that's apparently tradition. I remember one year, actually, I think it was last year, with the people I lived with at uni, we actually got Guinness, and it wasn't any old Guinness, it was coffee flavored Guinness, and that was the most vile drink I've ever drunk in my whole life. It was genuinely disgusting. It was awful. I then later had another can of it a couple of months later, and it was just as bad. But anyway, moving on to the actual celebrations for the episode. It was nice. It was cool. There were some controversies, but I will get onto that in a little bit. But the St. Patrick's Day side of things was quite cool. It came with some twists. It came with some turns. There was a wake-up call with C'est la Vie, which, again, I didn't really think was an Irish song, because obviously C'est la Vie is It's Life in French. I think it's life. Yeah. So it was just a bit of an odd start to the episode, but it was cool seeing Louis be like, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day. He also said that Bono is apparently the most famous Irish person. I didn't even know Bono was Irish, so that's a bit awkward. But yeah, on the whole, a really great start to the episode. So, the twist is here, guys. I actually read about this twist. I was in the queue for Space Mountain, I think, Hyperspace Mountain at Paris, and I read about this twist, and I was like, okay, this is gonna, one, piss off everyone on Twitter, two, create fantastic television. The twist was essentially one person was called to the diary room. Just, can someone come to the diary room? Fern was the person to go. Fern was then locked in and was told, you have to evict someone from the house immediately today. You have to. They have to go now. And she was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Louis. I knew it was going to be Louis. I think anybody who went in that room would have picked Louis. Apart from maybe Marisha. I think Marisha actually would have been strategic with it. Because she's a game player, guys, if you didn't know. Which, like, I fully support. I fully support the game players. Because it is a game. You're playing to win. If you can win, it's a competition. And therefore, it's a game that you got to play. There's no point in beating around the bush and being like, oh, just be nice the entire time. Because, like, it's just boring. It's boring. But the British public will love you, apparently. So anyway, moving on. She had to plant a snake on Louis's bed. And then when they were all in the bedroom, they were told, oh, there's a snake. You've got to drive it out. And Louis found the snake on his bed after, like, a couple of attempts. It was actually quite funny, his reaction, and then obviously he was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? So yeah, like I said, there's been a lot of hotly debated thoughts on this. My opinion is, like I said, I don't mind them doing twists like this. A lot of people have been like skeptical because obviously Louis was then told that this was actually the luck of the Irish and he is immune from this week's eviction, essentially giving him a fast pass to the final. So I don't know. I feel two ways about this. The skeptical side of me is like, was it meant to be an eviction? And then it was Louis and they were like, oh, we can't lose Louis, so it's going to be an immunity instead. But the other half of me is like, I personally don't feel like Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, or ITV in general would be silly enough to do a twist like this and not have any public say in the matter. Because obviously this is a public-based show. Still frustrates me that it is, because the public are awful people. As we will learn in the eviction tomorrow. But anyway, moving on. And I feel like if they were going to do evictions, they have to vote them out. Even in the previous series, when oh my god, I've forgotten their names. And this is so embarrassing. Trish and Noki. That's who I was talking about. When they had to choose 3 people to put up for eviction, the public still said who went. When the voting opened and Matty was sent home through letters from home, the public still had a vote. When Jordan, what's his face, and Tom, Jenkin and Tom went into the secret room, the public still had a say in who went home. So I do genuinely believe that Big Brother did not have this plan intending for somebody to go home. It was always going to be an immunity, because I don't think they'd be stupid enough to not have it be an immunity. So guys, we are going to get straight into nominations. With Nikita already up for eviction and Louis immune, there was only really 5 people for everyone to choose from. Some people had 6, some people had 5. So yeah, it was a bit of a tough one, I thought, and there were some interesting reasons given for why people were voting for other people. Louis voted for Bradley and Zizi. Bradley because he's too happy. He's not sure that it's all 100% like nice all the time. And also, he feels like Bradley really, really wants to win. And apparently that's a negative. Sure. With Zizi, he just doesn't get on with her. He doesn't click with her. He appreciates her more now, but there's just not a vibe between the two of them. And so he's putting her up for eviction. As for David voted for Marisha and Fern. The reason why he voted for Marisha is there's a distrust there. He didn't like the fact that she didn't speak up when obviously people were nominating themselves for eviction. And it frustrated me because obviously he didn't vote for Bradley, and Bradley did the exact same thing, even more so because he didn't say a single word. And then he also voted for Fern because of the square of chocolate incident. That was one of the things that led them to losing the challenge. So yeah, had to be voted because of that. Makes sense. Very, very fair. Up next, we have Fern voting for Marisha and Coulson. The reason why she voted for Marisha is because she feels like Marisha doesn't necessarily hear her in the house. Like, when they're talking, nothing's really going in. I don't necessarily think that's a fair comment because, like, I don't think I've ever seen them interact with each other that much. So I actually can't say much on the matter. But she voted for Coulson because she feels like he's a bit of a hypochondriac. There was a moment earlier on in the episode where Coulson was complaining about neck pain because of having to wear the wig the previous day. I'm sorry, but what? That wig would not have given you, like, neck problems. The wig was not that heavy. It looked like a dusty, crusty, shake and bake wig from the pound store. It did not look heavy at all. It might have been, and I might be wrong, but I did feel like he was being over dramatic with that. I think he probably just slept funny. But yeah. So her calling him a hypochondriac was like, if it had been like, what, the wig, that was confusing. But she kind of made out like, oh, you're young, you shouldn't have aches and pains. And I was like, that's not really how pain works, but sure, Fern, go for it. Coulson voted for Marisha and Fern. The reason why he voted for Marisha was because of the whole kissing booth incident causing drama, game playing, and also the fact that she didn't put herself up for nomination. Again, Coulson didn't vote for Bradley, so it just felt uncomfortable in the sense of, like, why are you targeting Marisha for that? Then we had him voting for Fern. The reason why is because he feels like he isn't supported by her. He doesn't feel like there's a connection there, and he just prefers other people in the house, which absolutely fair and valid. When it comes down to 6 people to vote from, you really do have to just go, who do I prefer in this house? And if Fern's not one of them, absolutely fair and valid. Nikita voted for Fern and Zizi. He voted for Fern. This is the 4th time he's voted for Fern in a row, which is absolutely crazy. And he just feels like she's outside of the group. She doesn't really join in. She doesn't have that connection with the larger group. And then with Zizi, he feels like she hasn't opened up to him yet, which fair and valid. If that hasn't happened, then, like, there's not really much you can do about it, but it is what it is. Zizi voted for Coulson and Bradley. Now, the reason why she voted for Coulson is because she wouldn't go to him for help. If she needed advice or she needed someone to help her with something, she wouldn't go to Coulson, which fair and valid. I don't think I probably would. I think if I was going to go to someone, I'd go to Zizi or Marisha, or actually David. I feel like David would be a really, really good sort of person to give advice. I think Zizi would give me the best advice. Marisha would be really comforting, and David would just cheer me up, I think, if I needed help. So I think that's why I would choose those 3. The reason why she voted for Bradley is because he just has too much energy, and she doesn't always want 100% energy all the time. Sometimes she has low moments, but Bradley doesn't seem to have that. So fair and valid, I guess. Bradley voted for Marisha and Zizi. With Marisha, he feels like the team effort is very low. There isn't a lot of energy from her, and therefore, when it comes to, like, the team spirit, he feels like she's not contributing as much as everyone else. With Zizi, he just feels like the combo is lacking with her. There isn't a lot of there's not a lot of vibes there at this point, and obviously when we're getting this late in the game, vibes have got to be there, or I want to see you go home, that kind of thing. Then our last person to vote was Marisha. Marisha voted for Fern because she's always on her own and doesn't really join in that much, and she was like, kind of join in or, like, go home. Like, what's the point of you being here if you're not going to join in? And then with David, she's suspicious of him, and she is worried that he will nominate her. So again, she's playing the game. She's voting for people that she thinks will nominate her, and I think that's a good vibe because Fern and David both did vote for Marisha. But unfortunately, and this was really unfortunate, Nikita obviously was already up for eviction. Fern got 4 votes. Marisha got 4 votes. Zizi got 3. And David got 1. Coulson got 2. And I think that was it. Bradley has still not gotten any nomination. No, Bradley got 1. Bradley got 1 as well. So it's just frustrating because I think Coulson should have been up for eviction. Coulson should not have made it to the top 6. Bless him. I love him to pieces. But we're getting rid of too many interesting people. And comparatively, he's not as interesting as Marisha, Fern, and Zizi. and it's really frustrating. I put all 5 of my votes on ZZ. I had to do it from like Disneyland Paris. I was like, vote ZZ. But it was a shocking twist of events. I really didn't expect ZZ to be up at all. I was hoping it would be Coulson. I was really hoping it would be Coulson. But Marisha didn't vote for Coulson. If Marisha had voted for Coulson, 5 people would have been up for nomination. Instead of just 4. So everything can change. Everything could change. It became very, very clear who was going home. I mean, the polls online were saying Fern and Marisha were going home, but we'll have to wait until tomorrow's episode to discuss the eviction. Louis was hoping that people will save Fern, which is so weird because he was wanting rid of her a while ago. And Fern had a tiny breakdown in the what's it called? The diary room. But aside from that, it is what it is. There's not really much else you can do about it. Nominations are nominations. These people are up for eviction. Just gotta hope they can save them, right? So, the last thing I want to talk about before we head on to iconic quotes and moments is the controversial party. If you remember in the last episode, housemates failed the shopping task. Why did they get a party today with food and drink that wasn't on their shopping menu? They also got ingredients for an Irish stew. So, I don't know. What's the point in having the shopping task? This is what I was saying yesterday. There's no point in actually having the shopping tasks if they're not going to bother keeping it to the shopping tasks. What's the point in them? Come on, guys. Nobody was really feeling the party. Nikita and ZZ were just couldn't be bothered. Even Fern and Marisha were like, actually, I can't be bothered. And the others just felt deflated because they were like, we can't like enjoy ourselves because other people are up for eviction. So it's just uncomfortable and just not a very, very nice time. So yeah, bit uncomfortable, bit ugh. Yeah, that was pretty much the party. I do agree with people that I don't think they should be getting parties if they're on not rations, but like on a basic shopping budget. Is what it is. Not really much we can do. Let's move on to iconic quotes and moments. The first and only iconic quote and moment from this episode was Fern giving Louis a massage. And it was a very, very funny moment. And I actually really did enjoy it because Louis was making some questionable noises. And Fern was like, actually doing a pretty decent job. But it was just a really, really funny moment between two sort of frenemies. They do make me chuckle, those two, because they're the two golden oldies in the house. And they just snipe back and forwards. But I feel like there's a mutual respect kind of there. And then actually a bonus iconic quote and moment was actually when the entire house, when Louis walked away and Fern wasn't in the room, were like, oh, so we know Fern like nominated Louis, right? Because Louis thought it was ZZ, and everyone was like, no, we know it's Fern, right? Because Fern was looking well shifty when it was being announced. So the entire house knows it's Fern. I'm pretty sure that she actually tells Louis at some point. I think that might be in the next episode. I might be wrong, but either way, absolutely fucking hilarious, and really, really, I had such a great time with this episode. I really did enjoy it. So that is all we have time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have had a wonderful time watching the series. We've currently got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 episodes left, which means hopefully, if all goes according to plan, we should be done with this series by Sunday. And then Monday, we can start back with the Traitors Australia and finish that off. Then I can do some ranking, and then I can get back into Married at First Sight Australia, and I can also have a look at Canada as well, Big Brother Canada. Catching up on that. Got lots to catch up on, lots to talk about, lots of interesting things. So if you guys did enjoy the episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 800. Every single person counts. Please subscribe if you are enjoying. But that is all from me today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.